Hello and welcome to the Friday Vibe with Paula Clark for Integrity Magazine. And our wonderful guest this evening is Alex Fidelski, who's the CEO of The Real Scene, which is a brilliant an acting school and a talent agency and an online actors gym based in London. So welcome to the Friday Vibe, Alex.
Thank you very much for having me. Good evening, Paula. How are you?
I'm really good, thanks. I'm really good. I almost said RS because I almost said the name of the talent agency, and then I thought, hang on, I'm jumping ahead of myself here. So then I got all tongue-tied. But yes.
No, it's a Real Scene, and then under the Real Scene, we've used the initials RS for the productions, the agency, and then the online actors gym we've got. So it's RS.
That's a lot. And how long have you been doing this? How long have you? Because you're a young lad. You're a young lad to be doing this.
I'm not that young. I'm not that young. I'm moisturised. I'm not that young. So basically 6 years ago now, we kicked off. So yeah, 2015. We're going to be going into our 6th year next February. So yeah, it's been a hell of a roller coaster for sure.
And what started it? How did you start out?
So my background was wanting to be an actor. So way back when. So that's where it all started. In my town, I used to go to a drama school called Retraining, which was for kids. And I also just, obviously, like everyone else, got involved in school productions and then just took it a bit more seriously when I was 18 and then went on to university. And then...
what did you study at university? Did you study acting?
Well, yeah, that's why I kind of paused, because I studied acting and theatre. But when I left, unfortunately, I didn't know where to go next, which was quite a big thing for me. I didn't realise that exactly at the time. I just thought, right, this is frustrating, and I just cracked on. So I attended lots of individual courses, but there was this kind of pattern where I joined these courses and then they just ended. And I started to get a little bit frustrated. So that's what kind of started to kind of get my mind ticking over about The Real Scene, was to create a school where it didn't just end, that we created a community, provide people with tools, connections, to get out there and start working, really.
So was there one point that kind of, or somebody you met or something that happened to really like inspire and kick off The Real Scene?
Yeah, she's currently upstairs. Deb. She was the one. I met Deb just towards the end of work, because I used to work in a corporate job and pursue acting on the side. I also used to teach at a different acting school on a Friday night and a Saturday. So I used to live like a double life where my corporate colleagues never knew that on a Friday night and Saturday I worked as well. So I had a full-on Monday to Friday. Yeah, pretty much.
Slapstick on.
That's it. My brother used to always say, prefer to stand your pants and prance around a room. But I used to work in a corporate job, 9 to 5 in the city, and then in the evenings and weekends I'd go and teach acting, and that's where I loved the teaching element came in, and that's where I learned about how to bring that into The Real Scene. And then I met Deb when I was 30, good 9 years ago. And she was an entrepreneur, worked for herself, always had done. And just kind of, because she worked a lot, 6 days a week, she was really focused, hard work. She still works really hard now. And she just had this can-do attitude. And I just remember we were on a bike ride, actually. And she just said, look, you should do it. But if you do it, it won't be easy. It's hard work. There's a lot at stake, a lot of risks. But just go for it, basically redundancies were being made at work. And then I just thought, all right, so I just took the leap and didn't look back. And Deb helps out. So it's a bit of a family business. Her sister Jen works with me. She was great, still is great. But at the very beginning, she, gave a lot of time and helped me a lot in our classes and helped it grow. And we've now got people like Nicola and Lucas working alongside us, and we've got a great team. We've got some students, Peter and Kane, who assist. So we try to help, and our students come in and volunteer. And so I'm really happy and fortunate to have great people behind us.
Before we go further into that, right, because I know how humble you are. It's one of the reasons why I brought you on. I just want to tell everyone watching, these are the kind of teachers that Alex has and kind of team. These are the people, the caliber of actors and acting, just the experience that he has, that he offers all his students. Right. So first of all, you have Asa Butterfield. He's in Sex Education, Hugo, Ender's Game. I have all written down here. Then you got William Molesley. Of course, he was in Prince Caspian. I think he was Prince Caspian, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in the Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah,
and recently he was in The Courier with Gary Oldman.
That's right.
Well, so yeah,
so huge, loads of experience there. And then you've got David Schall from The Inbetweeners and The Office, and Steve North, who's Doctor Who and London's Burning, and Frank Harper. Oh, Frank Harper was Dog. I love Dog.
Everyone stopped getting shot. Yeah,
Lock, Stock, and Two
I remember when I
Smoking
first met Frank,
that.
actually, because Steve's good friends with Frank, and he recommended he come on board. And I just always remember Frank from his roles in the films. But when you meet him, he's the nicest guy. He's like everyone's favorite uncle. He's just a really genuinely.
Is he nothing like Dog? Nothing like Dog.
Nothing like Dog. No.
I love Dog's character.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And then of course you've got Manpreet Baku, who's in Humans and Doctor Who, Ali Bastian, Doctors and Hollyoaks, and then Shobu Kapoor, who's in Bend It Like Beckham. I love that film, and Citizen Khan. So you have got some amazing actors and actresses there. And so take you back to 2015, you had this idea, you had Debs and his sister, helping you out. And I know you've got a very young family, so you've been your life is very full. And so how did you go about building a school in London of all places? It's expensive. How do you go about it? So take us back to then and how you got from there to where you are now.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, because it literally flies by. Time absolutely flies by. I remember when I handed in my notice into Lloyd's, and then Deb told me she was pregnant, so I then panicked. So I went into overdrive working wise, because I think you panic knowing that a baby's on the way. So I pre-planned, worked, and I started to do things like creating the foundations. So luckily at the time, Jen, her boyfriend called Andy, works for a company called JBH Marketing. He basically dedicated a lot of time helping me build a website, marketing material, social media, helped me give advice and tips and guidance. So he was a real great supportive function for us. And I really owe him a lot for the first year or two when I was kicking off, because he was our technical IT marketing, go-to person. And then we just really grafted. I remember, I did a lot of free workshops, got my name out there, offered a lot of time. But before I made a leap into creating a school, I had a few connections from just myself and networking. So when I taught at the school, I trained some actors that had already made it into TV films and into TV shows, and movies. And I just kept in touch with people, and they recommended me directors, and I met a lot of agents when I was an actor, my old agent, for example. So I just kept that connection going. And then obviously before opening the Real Scene, said, look, this is what I'm thinking of doing, to directors and agents and the actors I knew, and said, would you support me and help me? And basically they said, yep. And then people have since then started to recommend people to come on board or help out. And then, we've met people along the way in, just working collaboration, because we're involved in production. So I've met people on set, and I worked with Shobu in an ADR session, and then obviously told her about the Real Scene, and then she knew Steve and David. So people actually, it's a small bubble, people know each other. So recommended, and so once you get talking to people, they come on board. But it's been I'm very fortunate to have a great team and list of coaches that come in. And Ali, for example, Ali I've known since I was a kid from my hometown. So it's about keeping those connections. And
absolutely. How important is networking within the film industry?
Yes, good question. I think it's extremely important. It doesn't happen if you just wait at home. It won't fall on your lap. Obviously you can network now online, but obviously just be careful and wary and savvy. But you just got to go out and get it. I think that's in any industry, any role you want to, those that are really successful want to pursue their dreams, put the hours in, dedication in, and pursue it. I think networking, especially in our industry, They want to know who you are, what you like to work with, and it's nice to get to know someone outside of that work environment, you know. So I think it's extremely important, especially with casting directors, producers, directors.
Of course.
You know, they don't forget face. So yeah, it's really important.
How difficult is it right now? Obviously, because we've got all the COVID, the lockdown. You know, it's more difficult to get out there. So you've got the film festivals, the independent film festivals. Of course, they're not happening face to face. You know, the events on there, and so then the next probably BAFTA. Who knows what the future is going to look like, right? So, how difficult is it for an aspiring actor, screenwriter, anyone involved in TV, film, and production, etc.? How difficult is it to network and make an impact like you would face to face, being there, shaking someone's hand, having a drink with them, chatting? They get a feel of your personality. What tips would you give to anyone right now in the situation where they have to try and network and build their name? Any advice for them?
Yeah, I'm going to do a little plug for our online actors gym. So basically, we created it's like Facebook, but for actors, a platform where you can do 2 self-tape challenges, and then they get viewed and you get feedback by, myself or Nicola from the agency, people like David Shaw, Steve North, so all our coaches. And it kind of grew from that to offering online classes. And then again, it grew to having social events. So on there, we do a film club where we watch a film and then we all join and talk about it. Again, hosted by Bill Ward, who's another coach of ours from Corrie, Emmerdale and Afterlife. And then we do quiz nights. And the reason I mentioned the Real Scene as a networking thing, the gym, is because there's been dedicated members on there that I've seen when I do the quiz or I'm in the film club or I open up the classes, and I've actually got to know them online throughout COVID, when we've all been at home. And certain people have just brought their personalities over, and they haven't been, they haven't emailed me directly afterwards and said, I'm looking for representation. They've just been really genuine. I can see their dedication. When we do the quiz nights, they're fun, they're social, people bring a drink, it's in the evening, and we laugh and share jokes, and it works really well. And same with the classes, you start to see the same faces and you think, okay, this person's been in all the classes, that's interesting. Okay, they're in the club, they're in the film club, they've got great opinions, they're, joining in the conversation, they're really constructive with their criticisms or feedback or thoughts. And then you can just see they're hungry and they're dedicated. And then when you do the quiz nights and you get to know them, then you're more, for me, because I don't always mark the self-tapes, but the coaches generally say which ones stand out. But if I see, for example, there's this girl called Celia, she did a self-tape. I was more driven to kind of watch her self-tape because I kind of felt like I got to know her. Yeah. Do you see what I mean? So that was a really great place to kind of start to know people and learn about them. And there are people like, this week there's a guy called Harvey, and I've seen him recently on a lot of the events on there. Also social media, Instagram, people just touch space, see how you're doing, checking in. It's a fine balance, I think, with online where you want to be able to keep in touch, but don't kind of overdo it or bombard, because I think obviously we're all busy. So it's just kind of trying to find out. And then if you're obviously not an actor's gym or you're not part of your scene, you can email in, but you need to be able to tell people what you've been doing. So if you've written something, or if you've done, some of our actors, like there's a guy called Peter Percent, who is one of our students. He, during lockdown, just shot his own short film, edited it, learned to grade it, put it on IMDb, got accepted. And now he's writing. And then when he updates me, he just says, just let you know, this is what I've done in the last couple of weeks. And I'm now writing this. And it's relevant. You can see they're dedicated. So there's ways to, still get out there, network. And then you can reach out to people and say, festivals or producers or in shows. And, but again, tell them what you've been up to. Don't just, you have to offer something for them.
So what is it then that someone stands out? What makes somebody stand out from the crowd? For someone like you, so you mentioned all this activity, so someone's doing all this activity. What is it that can help you to stand out for the crowd? Because bearing in mind, there are lots of people watching that may be interested in knowing, you know, well, you know, I'm stuck. I can't do much. It's locked down. There's not much production going on, but we know that there is, but it's not as easy to get in.
Yeah, I
as
mean,
before,
productions on the agency side, productions have started picking up. Auditions are happening. I would say what someone for us, I mean, artists to me that stand out are those that are communicative. You know, on top of that, they're dedicated and they're professional. You know, and they're ready to go. They have the tools. So for me, that's the main thing. So if I meet a new actor that hasn't come through the real scene and they email me and they've got a professional profile, you know, Spotlight or Casting Networks, and they send that in, it has all the information on there and it's clear, it's up to date, then you kind of start to see, you know, a pattern here. Okay, right, this is you know, it's a professional actor who's got some experience and you can see their training. I get a lot of actors email in, you know, where they'll take a screenshot of their Instagram account and say, you know, I'm hardworking, dedicated, represent me. But then you know straight away, okay, you know, it's frustrating because I don't want to diminish them. So I'm but then that's where my acting coach hat comes on. And I say, look, you know, you really shouldn't email an agent with this because, you know, you need to realize that it's a profession. You need to have professional headshots. You won't be taken seriously if you send this in. So there's a lot. So just bear in mind who you're emailing, what you're emailing, have the professional headshots. Less is more. So agents, producers, casting directors are busy. Just send a Spotlight link and just say, you know, loved your last project. Please find this. And just bear in mind, if you're that person and you're busy, how would you like to be approached if you were to get bombarded by emails? So I think that's the biggest thing I'd say to help to stand out. And then with self-tapes, which are now, you know, the way to audition is, again, like listen to what's being said. You know, there's so much advice out there. All the casting directors are giving out advice on their Twitters and, you know, and listen to what they're saying, you know, because they're giving away golden information about how to shoot a self-tape, playing wall. And you'll be surprised again how many people don't take that on board and don't, you know, implement it. So
that's true. And I know that you guys, you offer show reels and you know, you've got the full package for someone. But if, say, for example, they didn't come on board with you, but they wanted to search the internet and right now there are production directors offering show reels because that's what I saw in lockdown. There are very highly qualified, you know, directors and producers who are offering show reels because they've still got to tick along, right?
And make money.
So exactly. So you can pretty much get quite a good deal right now. You know, you don't have to pay the earth. You know, take advantage of all the experience and the talent out there, and you know, because we will pick back up again.
Yeah, 100%.
But if they wanted to find out, so you've got aspiring actors and actresses out there, and you know, wanted to get involved in the industry. So how do they go about becoming part of, you know, doing one of your courses, joining your actors gym, joining the real scene? How do they do it? What's the process?
So depending on which courses we offer, if you're absolutely new and you're aspiring, I'd suggest the Actors Gym and our 3-month course. And all it is just emailing in. I mean, the Actors Gym is open for anyone to join at any time, and it's really affordable. It's 50% off for the year subscription, which is £10 a month, so 120 for the year. And they get 4 classes a month, self-tape certification course, which will literally breaks down how to, from stage 1 to start a self-tape. So technically how to hold your camera, how to, you know, frame it, light it, do a blank wall. We cover, yes, we basically go through each step by step, developing up to the lighting element, to the sound, and they won't be able to pass the first class until they actually follow the instructions. And that basically ends in lesson 10 where they get a certificate, and that will be about the performance side of things. So that will teach them about how to shoot a self-tape. So that will answer all of those questions. And then they have on the side of that 2 self-tapes that they can do, and that will get marked by a professional, like you said, David Shawler, you reeled off to our coaches earlier. And they can write in there, I'm quite new to acting, this is my first show reel. So they'll know to write notes specific to them. And basically it will be technically marked and performance marked. And that's great as well because it's personal development. They can go at their own pace as quickly as, you know, and that's available at home in their own time. But the other one is the Real Scene. Just email info@realscene.co.uk or visit our site, and it's a 3-month part-time course. And that's great for beginners or people coming back to acting because it covers the basic foundations, but also what could be thrown at you in an audition. Because that's what I'm really passionate about, because the audition process is really hard.
Yeah.
So we cover improv, cold read, audition technique, taking direction, character objectives. So all of these things. But they develop the course is structured in a way to develop you as you progress, ending in a showcase to myself and Nicola, who's one of the agents at the RS, and we do a Q&A about the industry. We share about the industry. We're really passionate about, even on the online gym, about telling actors what it is that they wish to pursue, because I think there's a void in that knowledge of actors who go to other institutions, perhaps, but knowing about how the industry actually works, what the casting process is like, what it is like on set, the terminology on set, the role of the makeup artist, the role of the gaffer and first AD, second AD, understanding everything. So when they do land a job, they're confident being in that scenario. So we're really passionate about educating them on that side of things as well. The film business, which is what it's called. Yeah.
And then say somebody's gone through the 3-month process and they've joined the Actors Gym and they've got the support and they're part of the community. Where can they go from there? You've gone a little bit fuzzy on me.
Sorry. So it really depends. I mean, Nicola and I, we do a Q&A at the end. Nicola does one-to-ones with them and talks to them about other courses that we offer. So if they want to do the year course, we'll sit down and talk to them about that and what that offers, because that is really designed to take them to that top level. It throws everything at them from all the techniques from Stanislavski, which is method, Meisner, Chekhov, and then everything with voice work, so working on RP and American accents, movement, and then we film every month. And then we end by shooting a short film, which we submit to festivals, which is where I met you at the festival.
That's right.
And then, the one film that we was at the festivals now made it into Earl's Court as well. So it's made it into 2. And straight away, at the end of the course, that the actors on there will have headshots, a lot of show footage, but then they've also got something to market themselves. And then we do sign a lot of our actors, but if we don't, other agencies, do sign our actors as well. And then they've got something to say. This actor was part of this film directed by a professional director. They've got something to push and promote them. But, we have signed actors from our 3-month course. If they've come on and they've already got headshots and show reel, and, we can see that they've got that natural talent, then, and they just needed that kind of a boost and support, then we'll push them out there as well. And we'll give them a chance and support them. So.
Do you ever get an actor or an actress come on and you just think, maybe they've come on for, that 3-month course and suddenly you just go, oh my gosh, they've got it. They've got it. They've got the whole package. And what do you do with them? Say they haven't got the money to continue. A lot of people don't. How do you then encourage someone who maybe doesn't have the money to invest in themselves, but that they've got that golden touch?
Yeah, I mean, it's a marathon, not a sprint as well. So that's what we'll say to people. So we've had a few situations like that. We've had one actor that came in and actually knew him from my previous role in working in the corporate environment. And I was very surprised to see him in one of our taster classes. And I just said, you've got a great look. You've got natural talent here, which is great. So it's just educating him in the industry and technique, so he could create his own process. He actually did jump on and he did the week intensive with us because that offered him the shows and the headshots, which he needed to go out. Because we're supported by the FCA, so all our courses can be you can spread the cost over 4 years. So you can take a loan and then pay it off, however much you want. You can do a 1 or 4 year. But those that haven't, we've just basically said, we've had to tell them to stay positive, stay dedicated, and just communicate and work together. So they've joined other platforms like Mandy. They've joined, they've reached out to people within the Real Scene I know that are doing their own independent short films. Obviously, we produce and we've been involved in a few feature film projects and TV shows. So we've recommended these actors. We've managed to get them in. And over time, they've managed to get show footage, they managed to get credits, which got them onto Spotlight. And then, through that, and through the payment of those projects, they've kept the money aside to again get headshots. So there are other ways, but it depends on everyone's path, journey, what speed they want to do it at. But yeah, for those that have done the 3 month, it's just about not giving up. And as I said, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So you never know when it will kick off. But if you stick at it, if you stay dedicated, it will come for you.
It's like anything really, because as you know, I'm a makeup artist, and when I first started out, it was all about collaborations. You don't get paid. You might be fortunate to get some expenses, but each time you're building up a portfolio and you're networking and you're getting your name known, and then the next job you might be put forward for might be a little bit more pay, or it might be a better opportunity, and then you meet different people. So I guess when you're starting off in this industry, especially, it's very much about just getting your face out there and getting as much experience as possible.
Yeah, and the main thing as well is training. It is so important. I mean, one thing I always say, practicing at home, learning lines. I always say because so many actors will say, "How do I learn lines?" or "How do you learn lines?" It's like, well, everyone has their own technique, but go home, print off, scripts. BBC has an archive of scripts. Download some, just practice. It's a muscle memory. So there's so much you can do at home and on the internet. Download and just practice, record yourself. Everyone's got mobile phones, smartphones. You can record yourself, watch yourself back, do your own self tapes. We do 2 on a gym, but it doesn't stop you doing 1 a day or 1 a week. So there's so much you can do yourself, and just test your own accents. If you watch YouTube and you watch your favorite TV show, start listening to accent replicator. Just practice yourself. There's so much you can do. It's just like you go to the gym. You go on your own. If you go running outside, you work on your own fitness. But if you go on a 2-week holiday, come back, you can't run as far as you once did or lift the weights you once did from just a 2-week holiday. It's the same, I believe, in acting. It's just your confidence might be knocked and you may be a bit rusty. So just keep on top of it, because you never know when that audition will come in. So when it does, you want to be ready. You want to be able to, just deliver it. You never know if a audition will come in. We've had some in the last few weeks where an audition came in and they wanted it the same day. So the actors had to turn around a script within a couple of hours, or the night before for the following day. Sometimes time won't be on your side. So if you're confident and sharp and committed and ready, then you're more likely to be able to just make the quick decisions from your character, record it, send it off. Because people forget that you then have to send it to your agent, who then has to watch it, add it, and send it off. So there's time frames to process.
So I guess, thank you for that. And I guess because you're an acting school and you've got the online actors gym and you offer all the courses, it makes sense then for your, for anyone who's been through all of that with you, you've held their hand all the way. It makes sense for them to join your agency, right? RS agency.
Yeah, we do tend to sign quite a few of our students, and the main thing is because we know them and they know us, and I think that's the main thing. The good thing about agency or having an agent is having a good relationship. My phone keeps buzzing off. It's having a good relationship with them. You want an agent to know what to submit you for, that if they submit you for a job, that you're perfect for that you're dedicated, that you'll turn up and you'll deliver it, not to put someone into a role that maybe they're not potentially ready for or right for, which will frustrate the casting director and will create will reflect badly upon the agency. But also that the actor knows how the agency works, that we're hardworking, that we're always there for them, that we're rooting, pushing them, bearing them in mind for things. So it's a two-way street, and then keeping that communication up. So if actors farm and seek their own roles, let us know what they're doing, so we can then promote them and push them. And so it's great to have the actors on board that we have, because they're not just actors and part of our agency, they're friends as well, which is great.
Yeah, of course. I absolutely love the online actors gym. I think it's brilliant. I had a little look around, and I really, anyone who's thinking about becoming an actor and actress, I absolutely encourage you to check out therealscene.co.uk and check out especially the 3-month. I feel like it's an introductory almost. It's just, you can fit it in with work. If you're working part-time, if you've got a family, if you've got other commitments, you could do this part-time, and it's affordable. And that's the good thing. I think it's affordable. And then you're part then of this whole networking scene, this whole, the help, the advice, the hand holding. You're with like-minded people. You'll build up friendships. Right now the industry is it's closed down quite a lot. So to have something that actually helps you hold your hand and guides you through, because like I said, we're going to come out of this eventually. We'll all look a bit different, possibly, especially the industry.
I just made a note on my page here to say it's competitive as well, so I think it's great to be able to be part of a community that support each other. You might have someone that can help you with an audition, a self-tape, bounce ideas from, go on networking events together with, if some of our coaches are in productions, we'll go together to the theatre, to the cinema, to screenings, and that's a great way as a group to go out, because that you won't be there on your own. Sometimes it's hard to go to events on your own. I mean, I've done it, and you sit there and you wait for your friend to turn up, or the person who invited you there, but you have to do it, but if you go with a group, then you feel more relaxed and you can meet other people, and it's great. It's a great thing to do. So if you join a 3-month, then you're part of our school, our community. And with the gym as well, Asa Butterfield has been really supportive. He's come on a lot on there. He's coming on again, I think, in December. We've got 2 directors coming on who will be sharing their advice, their guidance. We had Chris Solomino on recently, who just directed a film called I Made This For You, which has been screening for free. So I recommend people watch that. And he came on and shared his process and thoughts and his career. And it's great for new actors to hear the people's stories, because not everyone has that conventional route. People have worked, like Bill Ward. He worked full time in corporate and then just took the leap of faith and went for acting. And some people just grafted at it and didn't stop and from role to role to role, developed and got out there. So everyone's got a different journey. I think it's great for people to hear that as well.
Exactly. And also, I always say this: it takes one book, one film, one song, something, one opportunity to change your life. But if you're not in it, if you're not doing it, if you're not getting out there, if you're not writing the book, singing that song, out there auditioning, you won't know, will you, if it's ever going to be you. So, and now it's, if anyone's thinking of retraining, doing something really interesting, if they've always wanted to be an actor, maybe they've got to nearly 40 and they wanted to be an actor, and it's like midlife crisis. Okay, what am I going to do? Actually, I think I'll retrain with the Real Scene. How do they? Tell them how they get in touch with you again. If they're going to go anywhere, go to the Real Scene.
Go to Real Scene, info@realscene.co.uk, and visit realscene.co.uk is our website. But we're on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, which is the Real Scene, and real_scene on Instagram. So you can message us on social media or visit us on the website, drop us an email, and we're very good at responding. When my team clock off for the night, I tend to not. So I'm always on my mobile, so you may even get a reply at 11 o'clock. I think someone once called the Real Scene School at like 2 in the morning, and I answered because I was still working. And they're like, "Oh my God, I wasn't expecting someone to answer." I wasn't expecting someone to call at this time either. So we had a laugh at that point, and you never know. But at the end of the day, we're all human. So don't be scared to try things out. And it's the same with casting directors and directors. Everyone's just human. So it doesn't matter what age you are. If you just watch TV, you can see the what's happening on our screens reflects everyday life. So there's all different ages, diversity, everything. So just don't be scared. Just go for it. I mean, you're a great example yourself, Paul. You do a whole variety of creative things, from painting to writing to doing makeup. It's just, and this is great thing about what I feel about now in the industry. You don't have to just be an actor. You could be an editor, actor, producer, actor, director, actor, writer. There's so many great opportunities now. You can create your own content and then release it. So there's so many opportunities as well. And even with lockdown, because now what we've got with lockdown is time. You can shoot stuff on your phone and start a YouTube channel, and that's a great way again to become noticed. So, and
it's the best way to network right now. I've connected with so many film directors and actors around the world, and people involved in the film industry and the and the TV industry and the media industry, because people have got time to connect with you.
Yeah.
And so you actually can build up friendships. One of my best friends is actually a film director in Alabama. We message every single day. He's probably one of my best friends, and I've interviewed him, and I met him on Facebook, and we've just built up this friendship. Yeah. So, you know, use this time to network and build up relationships, friendships, etc., because you never know where they're going to lead and what collaborations they might lead to.
Exactly. And it's the same with, if you have an idea, pursue that idea, you know.
Absolutely.
It all starts with an idea. So
Dee Dee Burton said, perfect advice from the real scene as always. Thank you, Alex.
Oh, is she on live, is she?
She is. She's online.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, so no, Dee's one of our OGs, originals. So hi, Dee. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, no, Dee came aboard and she had a real trust issue. I remember our first ever meeting and she was quite direct. She was like, why should I trust you? Pointing the finger. And then, and yeah, she's been with us ever since. And yeah, she's part of the agency. You might have seen her advert everywhere, National Lottery campaign she got, and her adverts everywhere. It was national.
Well done, Dee.
Yeah. So, and she's great and she's got a great attitude, and she's been, because we work very closely with Wall of Comedy, so Percy Lascott and Javan Wade. So he's playing Cyborg now in HBO, and then Percy was in Innocence. We did a masterclass with them, and then we collaborated on some of their short films, and Dee was in a lot of their projects and their TV pilots. So these are not other things that we try to, you know, we create relationships with other production companies at the Real Scene to try and create opportunities, because production companies and projects and TV shows and pilots, they've got limited budgets. So this is, as you said, if someone stands out for me in 3 months, I would recommend that they go. And again, I know these guys, I know they're professionals. So I'll say, well, go and, you know, work on a day on here and you'll get a credit, or you get experience, or help them out behind the scenes and, you know, behind the camera. And that way people have also created a lot of connections, a lot of work, and yeah, managed to get onto spotlight that way. So going back to your original way.
Yeah, she said thank you. So we're coming to the end of the interview. Okay. It's been fascinating. We could talk all night, but I know you've got kids and work to get back to, and hey, grab a beer as well. It's Friday. Yep. Lucas Young said, hey, Dee and I did the ASA masterclass together.
Yeah, so Dee and Lucas. Lucas is an interesting story. So he worked on Lord of the Rings. Hey, Lucas. And he actually works for Real Scene. He's fantastic. He basically came to the Real Scene because he wanted to learn about acting to be a better director, to understand that process, not to be a better director, but to get more involved in directing. But he worked on Lord of the Rings in post-production. And then he actually was the one that came to us with the idea of the Actors Gym, and because he's got a background in IT. So this is what I mean about, you never know about people's backgrounds or what you can do to support and get out there. But Lucas, again, he's worked in films with Steve. He's landed roles working in short films. So yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster for him as well. So yeah, everyone's got different journeys and different paths.
Absolutely. And if your journey doesn't look like someone else's, we always compare, we can't help it, right? If your journey doesn't look like someone else's, you never know, their journey might not look like someone else's, and we're all comparing all the time, like these little Russian dolls. We, you know, we'll bring one out and we feel so small compared to everyone else, but actually somebody might want to be that little Russian doll, you know, the smallest one.
And yeah, I'd say also social media, don't look and feel discouraged by social media, because sometimes they portray, you know, they highlight the best, but, you know, doesn't mean that you won't get there, or, you know, so it's just, as I said, hard work, dedication, and you'll get to where you want to be if you just don't give up.
Absolutely. So we're coming to the end. Yep. Please, the last question I have to ask, you know this, because we're Integrity Magazine, what does integrity mean to you?
Doing the right thing, I would say. Basically, that's why I set up the Real Scene. So the Real is a pun for REAL, as well as film reel. And that's why I set it up, to offer the real thing, to support people, you know, be the real school for actors, give back. And then I'd say humble, being truthful and honest. But yeah, just doing what's right is the main thing. And just, as I said, always treat people like you would like to be treated as well.
Absolutely.
And it's a small industry. Yeah, and it's a small industry, so people do talk and they want to work with people that have been recommended. So yeah, be nice and genuine.
Be nice, everyone. Be nice. You heard it from Alex.
That's it.
Alex, thank you so much. It's been
Thank you very
amazing
much.
having you on. The real scene. If I wanted to be an actor or an actress, well, obviously an actress, I would definitely I've wanted to have done your masterclasses, and yeah, it's amazing. It's so fantastic. So anyone who wants to be get into the world of acting or TV or the background roles in TV, in the media industry, the film industry, please check out info at therealscene.co.uk, and also you can check it out on Instagram.
Yep, which is real_scene. Yep.
Real and Twitter. Did you Twitter?
Yep, we're Real Scene on Twitter, and our website it's all on our website if you want to visit realscene.co.uk.
There you go. I think Lucas has put it up on the comments. Thank you, Lucas.
Brilliant.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me, Paula. Thank you, Integrity Magazine, and we'll share this on our platforms as well. So
wonderful. Thank you, and you enjoy the rest of your Friday.
You
and the
too.
weekend.
Have a lovely weekend. Thank you for your time. Bye.